I was expecting a 40-minute, hour and a half maximum operation, take the half a disc out my back, sewn up, and then just gradually rehabilitate myself back to fitness. Certainly didn't bargain for what was going to happen to me afterwards, no. I was coughing up blood, that was my main symptom. This was 5 days after the operation, so I was quite worried, so I phoned the doctor. I'm fortunate enough that I've got the use of a doctor. With the job that I do, we have our own doctor. He was away with the team in Cardiff, and he said, get yourself down to your local A&E. It was Easter weekend, so most places were closed, it wasn't a case of you could go anywhere, so he said get yourself to the A&E and get checked over. I was there for a couple of hours, I had a chest x-ray, I had my bloods done, observations done, and I got sent home. Pretty much told I was alright, and it's probably just where they put the tubes down my throat from the operation. I spoke to the doctor again, obviously told him what had happened, so he'd give me some symptoms to look out for, and said just be careful and keep an eye on yourself. And that night I didn't sleep very well. My chest pain was getting worse and I was coughing up more and more blood. I thought I'd best give him a ring before the game because there's something not right here. So he said, look, get yourself back to A&E. And the A&E that I went to, that on the Sunday night was closed. He said, go to the major one in Leeds, go to the main centre. I checked in as normal. We went into the waiting room, and it was a 2.5 hour wait, I think 3 hour wait. And I'd previously had the back operation, so I was supposed to be at home sat up in bed. So I went to sit down, I couldn't sit down. So I stood up against the wall for a little while, and I just said, excuse me, please, would you mind, I've had this operation, would you mind if I had a lay down somewhere? I said, I don't want to push in, I don't want to jump the queue, I just want to lay down somewhere. And I was saying what my doctor had said to me, and I said, look, I just want a scan on my lungs and my chest, I just need a scan. About 6 o'clock at night, I think it was, by the time the fellow that was in charge of A&E came up and said, oh, congratulations, it looks like you've won yourself a scan. So he came back after I'd had my scan. We need to start your treatment straight away, you've got a blood clot on your lung. The first thing I said to the doctor the next morning, am I going to be alright, am I going to die? He explained everything to me, said that I wasn't going to die at that time because they'd caught it, but this is how we move forward. So then I asked him, am I ever going to be able to play football again? And he said, yes, but not for the near future, because I'm going to have to go on a course of heparin. I was on heparin for nearly 10 days, and then the warfarin for 6 months. To start with, I was the respiratory problems that I had with the chest and everything, because I lost half of my lung. I was struggling. My nana was 92 and we'd go for a walk and I couldn't keep up with her up the hill. And it started off, so I had to build that side of things up, like the walking side of things, slowly. And it was a long drawn out process. I think the whole thing was about 18 months from start to finish by the time I got myself right again. Football's something that I've loved and it's all I've ever known. And I didn't want to end like that. So I've had such a career like I've had, and such a good career. And for it to have ended like that, it'd have been very, very disappointing for me to look back on. And it's an achievement. It's one of my career achievements to come back from such an illness or an injury. And it's something that I'd never ever set on finishing. I was always going to come back. That's what probably kept me going through it. Obviously I've trained all my life since I was 14. I've professionally played football since I was 16, 17. So I'd like to say I was reasonably fit throughout the whole time, throughout my whole career. And you know, I've led a decent lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. And for it to happen was a complete freak. There's no history in the family, no nothing. There was no prior warning. You know, it's not something that I'd have come across in my life unless a family member would have had it, or it's not something in the literature that I read or the television that I watch. Am I going to find out about pulmonary embolisms? I mean, I'm sat here now a year or so later knowing all the medical terms for it and sounding like an expert, but going in for a routine back operation, it never even crossed my mind. You know your own body and you know if something's not right, and you shouldn't be afraid to speak up. It's something that I never really understood the risk of after an operation. There's a lot made out of the risk of flying and everything, but the actual risk after an operation is a lot greater. You should ask the doctors and the nurses what they're doing to reduce your risk of a blood clot while you're in hospital.